Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. It is Saturday morning. It's 7:47 a.m., November 21st, and I'm Ken. And this is Saturday Morning Coffee with Ken. Good morning, James. Thank you for tuning in this cool fall November day. Anyway, I've been doing this show for about a year and a half. Started when I was really down in a lot of aspects of my life. I was living in good morning, Scott. I was living in a dark apartment by myself. I was struggling in a lot of areas in my life, and I thought I wanted to get it off my chest. So for some reason, I did it live on Facebook, and people started watching. And over the weeks and months that followed, I realized my struggles weren't unique, and we all have some issues. And I don't know, it felt good to share them, and it felt good for people to watch them. Good morning, Debbie. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, that was like a year and a half ago. And there's only one rule to Saturday Morning Coffee with Ken, and it's that I don't get to have my very first sip of coffee on a Saturday morning. And you know me, you know I love coffee until I push live on Facebook and start talking. And I have done that. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you have a very nice hot cup of coffee in front of you and you're about to enjoy it. So cheers to us. That's good. I'm going to have another one right away. Went with a hazelnut today. Again, we go back and forth between Sumatra, the Starbucks coffee, and hazelnut. And for a long time, Anne-Marie didn't like the hazelnut too much. She was used to the strong flavor of the Sumatra. And I think over time, I've turned her. And I don't mean to turn her all the way because I like mixing it up. But she's become a really big fan of that as well. The funny thing is, every morning we come down here and have a cup of coffee together. And our kids are starting to enjoy it too. Not every day, but a lot of days, especially when it's the hazelnut, they'll come down and pour themselves a coffee and drink it with us. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I think it's kind of cool. Sharing kind of that quiet time as we all wake up over a nice hot cup of coffee. And I don't know. I enjoy it. So good. So how are you guys doing? How's your week gone? It is, I'm in the sunroom today. Most of you know I've been out doing it on my patio most of the year, a couple days. We had a rainy day and one real cold day. It's 36 degrees today in Naperville. It's probably not going to get above mid-40s today. And it seems, I know yesterday was a gorgeous, gorgeous day. It was sunny, no wind, and it was in the low 50s here in Naperville. And I tried to enjoy every last drop of what might be the last warm day of the year. Thank you, Laura. Anne-Marie's mom's watching. Makes me nervous. What was I going to say? Yeah, I try to enjoy every last drop of it. I went for a long scooter ride in the morning. Had a fire out on my patio yesterday afternoon. And, we spent a lot of time outside, and it was nice. Top of the morning, Barry. It was nice because over the last couple of weeks, we've had just a blessing of warm air come in. And late in the season, it doesn't often happen, but I got to get my scooter out. do a lot of riding over the last week and a half, and that's always been a sort of therapy for me. I find if you're stressed out and you're riding on two wheels, you can't really be stressed for long. No need to be nervous. It's not because I'm in the family, Laura. It's because you're watching me talk on live video. Um, uh, yeah, nothing removes your stress than when you're flying down the road in traffic on two wheels, and you don't have time to be distracted or worried about your problems or worried about bills you got to pay or a closing you have in real estate. And so I just enjoyed the crud out of that the last couple of weeks and put in a ton of miles on my scooter. Was hoping to get out golfing, but did not. I don't know. I think my golf season's over. It was a year that I got the clubs out a lot and was able to play a lot. My game was poor, but I care a little bit, but I did enjoy the camaraderie and hanging out with some friends on the golf course. And that is an awesome thing to do in these COVID times because you're outside and it's by nature social distancing. And it was just good to have a distraction in this world. I'm going to drink a lot of coffee today just because I can. We had our kids last week. Last week was a busy week for us, sometimes very stressful week for us. I had a lot of highs and lows and emotions. I know. Good morning, Sandy. I know Anne Marie did as well. We had our kids all week, and for those that know, we homeschool. But we also had a real busy week of work along with it. We currently, as for those that are watching, you probably know we sell real estate. Anne-Marie and I do. We had a lot of activity. We had one challenging closing. We had a closing yesterday, and which is great, but it was real challenging. And it was a young lady that was moving from Illinois to Florida, and she moved, and there was still a lot of moving parts left in the closing, a lot of things needing to be done, and with a little hustle on Anne-Marie's part and a lot of hard work by, hold on, Debbie, I'll read that in a minute. A lot of hard work put in by the seller's attorney. We did get it closed, which feels good. But again, it was a real challenging week. We had a lot of issues. We had a lot of good things happen as well. But again, it was just a tiring week. And we had our kids, we're homeschooling, and we're juggling a whole lot of work activities at the same time. I don't know. Let me see what Debbie says. I'm very stressed. Wanted to throw my phone through the wall when the governor's alert came through on the phone. Debbie, you're probably talking. Yeah, they upped our I don't know what restrictions. Can you up restrictions? I guess they're upping restrictions and shutting down some things. But it just, honestly, hi, good morning, John. What went on in the government this week seems more of a distraction. I mean, our rules are pretty already shut down. Most bars and restaurants are shut. Obviously, movie theaters, bowling alleys, cool things like that are shut. They put further limitations, I know, on a lot of restaurants and a lot of... Good morning, Lee Mandel. Always want to talk taxes with you whenever you pop on, Lee. I know you're a human being and you go outside of the accounting arena, but I see your name pop up. I know you're the best accountant in Naperville, and I always want to make a joke about the new write-off I have coming on the way. So, sorry about that. No Thanksgiving and family, but yes, celebrate Biden. Yeah, I don't even want to get into that. So anyway, yeah, it was a real stressful week. I know for me, I did this, I do this every week, this Saturday morning coffee show, and I usually post it on a bunch of groups, and I got a lot of hateful backlash from one of them, and it was a group that I've had some struggles and some personality conflicts on before, and I swore to not bow down to their feelings, but again, I found, and my own business attorneys be, for me, I'm a guy that struggles in a state of conflict, and I was fighting with a bunch of people that are totally insignificant in my life. and that I don't know, I'm probably never going to meet, and they seem real nasty. But it weighed heavily on me, and it was becoming stressful for me and put me in kind of a dark mood. And it started to affect our relationship with Anne Marie, and it was just silly. And I realized I didn't need to be a part of that group, you know. Early bird going to be earlier in 9 months. Yes, thanks, Ken. Always ready and willing to talk tax. Good morning, Adam. Um, so anyway, again, I was struggling personally and felt bad and was worried about Anne Marie's and my relationship that, put a dark spell on it. And I said, heck, I'm not going to do this show anymore. Uh, but then I chose to, and here I am drinking coffee on a Sunday or Saturday morning. So cheers again. It's Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving's always one of my very favorite holidays. It's kind of a good holiday day to be lazy. I guess my mom and the people that were in charge of cooking in my life don't consider Thanksgiving a lazy holiday. But since I don't really know how to cook anything, and most of the stores are shut, and there's a lot of football on, it's always been a good day to lay around, eat a lot of food, hang out with family and friends, play games of chess or Monopoly or Risk or whatever board games you're into, and get together in just kind of a quiet mode with all the hoopla that is Christmas, but a very similar holiday for me. And I'm excited. Again, we had our kids last week, so I don't think we're going to have any kids this week. It's probably going to be a very, very, very quiet Thanksgiving for us. I've invited my sister over a couple times. I hope she can make it, but if she can't, it could just be Anne Marie and I. And Anne Marie wants to put together a big meal with tons of different sides, and I'm kind of simple. I like turkey, I like mashed potatoes, I like stuffing, and I like some sort of green bean casserole, but she's planning everything as if we were having 30 people over. So I'm going to have to build up my appetite so I can celebrate Thanksgiving with her. I want to say thanks to a real sweet seller we have. We met with a seller a couple weeks ago. I'll call her Patty because that's her name. And she gave us this cool candle. And it's a Yankee Candle, and it's a crisp fall night. And it smells real good. And Anne Marie was touting the quality of Yankee candles because she's worried this one's going to last past Thanksgiving. And she's got Christmas candles already. Hey, good morning, Megan. Thank you for catching me live. Hope you're drinking your coffee. I see those likes down here, and I tend to say this every week. For those that are watching, I'm pretty insecure. And I love when people like and love and share my video. It makes me feel good. It's probably one of the tricks that Facebook and social media does. I watched that movie, whatever it's called, not the social network. You just got off work. Megan, I don't know what you do, but if you just got off work, you must start way too early in the morning. So you probably got to go to sleep, so you might be hesitant from drinking your coffee. But anyway, I hope you are. Good morning, Trey. Yeah, I'm doing it a little early. Last week, whenever I set an alarm, I get real stressed. And I worry how it's going to affect my sleeping patterns. And I wake up, I wonder how much time I have. And, well, that's cool. I wake up and it affects my sleep, and I worry about waking up and not getting enough sleep. And that's a tough shift, Megan. That's a tough shift. I've got somebody chiming in, and she says she's a psych nurse, and she works 7 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. And what does this poor woman do when she gets off work and goes home? She turns on Saturday morning coffee with Ken. And I appreciate that, Megan. But if I'm you, I'm hitting the sack and going to bed as soon as I can. But thank you for watching. What was I saying? I forget what I was saying. Oh, yeah, last week I decided to do this show anytime, whenever I woke up. Well, thank you. I was, again, for months doing it at 8 a.m. every day. And sometimes I'd wake up early, and then I'd have to sit around and wait for my coffee. Good morning, Karen. I'm glad you do. What cup are you drinking it out of? I'm using my M cup today. We have 5 kids and Anne Marie. We have one on the way. And Well, thank you, Debbie. Um, we've got our initials on each of the cups. So today I'm using my daughter's Morgan cup when I select it. And due to Anne Marie's suggestion, I decided to put my coffee maker or coffee pot right next to me here on the table so I could fill up at any time. And I just did. Good morning, Gary. I'm working on my second cup. Good morning, Lori, Slavka, and Gail. And Tuk Tuk, you're brewing now. What kind of coffee are you all drinking? Wow, I got a lot of people tuning in. Good morning, Scott. And again, it's probably because I usually do this show at 8. And I apologize for the randomness of the showing or the show. But again, it just feels better having my coffee when I'm ready. That's awesome. Drink coffee and be merry. Don't jump holidays. It's time to be happy this week, Sandy, not to be merry. I'm brewing now as well. Good morning, Joyce. Thank you for the likes and loves. I don't have my eyes in, Joyce. Does that say Bustelo coffee? Not familiar with that. Tuk Tuk's drinking blonde. I don't know how many people watching are here from Naperville. I wonder how many of you guys live in around Naperville and you know what Tuk Tuk is. Tuk Tuk's a really, really, really cool idea, and honestly, they're probably struggling during the pandemic because I know a lot of downtown areas are struggling, and I know Naperville's downtown. I've been riding my scooter through there, several days this week, and some of the businesses are still open. But the one thing I really miss is just seeing all the people walking through our beautiful town and feeling that excitement. And yesterday I was at the corner of Hi Sandy. So you know what Tuk Tuk is? Basically, it's like a little mini taxi cab, and I think kind of like a scooter meets a taxi cab, and it's real cheap. And if you live near Naperville at all, you can get a ride for as little as $1 a person, and just a real cool way to see our beautiful, beautiful town. And again, with everything that's going on, there's less people downtown, and I've got somebody watching that I think runs Tuk Tuk Naperville. So I want to give them a plug and say, hang in there. I hope you guys are doing well, and hopefully the world and our town gets opened up soon, and we have people strolling through the town, patronizing the businesses that live in our town and supporting the local shops and enjoying life again in the way that we did before this year. They closed your Dunkin' in Oakbrook. Well, there's always another Dunkin' Donuts not far away, Slavka. Just learned about the Tuk Tuk. Such a great thing. I wish I knew about them when I worked in the area. Yeah, they were so cool. Our last house was not quite a mile from downtown, and they would come and get Anne-Marie and I and drive us to town. Good morning, Amy. Drive us to downtown for $1 each. So, even you could give them a big tip and you'd give them $5 total. And, for a cool ride through the town on a nice day with the, sides all open. It was just a great way to see our town and a safe way to travel, obviously. There's a lot of bars and restaurants. Thank you. Tuk Tuk, what's your name? Give me a name. Or would you prefer if I just call you Tuk Tuk? But just a great way to see the town. And I'm sure I know they're running tours and such, but I'm sure it's a challenging time for them like it is for a lot of other businesses. So shout out to them. Hi, Karen Brown. You're from my old neighborhood. And they could drink and not worry. And believe me, Joyce, we did drink and not worry. Good morning, Scott. My brother's turned on. My brother lives in Austin, Texas. He's got my dad there right now. He's got, I was going to say, horrible. I've got 2 nephews, but he's got 3 kids, Colin, Dylan, and Holly. I almost forgot Holly. I am so sorry, Holly. That are doing real well and going on with life and living in Texas. And I think that's cool. So, it's 8:06. What else do I have for you today? Just realized I let my dog outside before I started talking. Not so Rosa. Before I started talking, and she walks around our yard and stares at squirrels, and if she gets a chance at them, chases out and tries to get them. And as far as I know, she hasn't been able to catch a squirrel yet. And it's interesting. I don't know if you ever watched The Dynamic. They could do a lot tour in April with stars. And first stop is Anne Marie's and Ken's house on Tuk Tuk tour. Uh, oh, you are. You are. It's 8 in the morning. I doubt you're so Rosa that hard. Um, anyway, she likes to think she's the queen of the neighborhood, and she's yet to catch a squirrel. And it's interesting when you watch them. A squirrel's probably, I think, terrified for their lives, thinking how they can tear them apart, but they almost seem to enjoy the chase. And they'll sit up on a limb and wiggle their tail and kind of make fun of her, and she'll just stare at them and be upset. And, oh, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if the squirrels are having fun with the chase or are actually scared. Did I finish my thank you to Patty for this beautiful candle? And again, Anne-Marie wants us to burn it all the time so she can break out her Christmas candles right after Thanksgiving. And she's super excited about that. And I don't know. I like candles as well. I like fire. Good morning, Carlos. Thank you for watching. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Kind of rambling this morning. I guess that's what this show's about. Again, I've been doing it a long, long time. Every morning before I get up, I sit and stress and wonder what I'm going to talk about. And I push live on Facebook and just start talking. And a lot of times I'll be still rubbing the sleep out of my eyes and trying to wake up and get going on my day and be a little down and be a little groggy. And the miracle that is caffeine, coffee, and conversation will pull me through and get me. Anne-Marie show us her bathrobe bump. Well, that's a little intimate, weirdo man. Anne-Marie's up in bed. We have a long tradition here at the Tracy household that she pushes me out of bed. I come down, get the coffee going, start talking live on Facebook. And the show usually runs about half an hour, and this is the vainest thing in the world. Good morning, Carlos. We missed you at the Masters party last week, Carlos. We had a great time. Wasn't really about the golf, because the golf ended at like 1:30. And I don't know if I got a lot of sports fans watching right now. I was chatting with a buddy yesterday, and watching sports without fans isn't quite the same. Whether it's NFL or NBA or any of the college games that's going on, I feel the excitement's somewhat muted. And even with the golf, which I spoke about earlier, it's a great social distancing sport, and it's one of the first sports that came back this year. Missing I don't know how many people watch the Masters in person, but the crowds are huge, and the roars are gigantic. And, if a player hits a good shot, the crowd erupts. And to watch somebody hit a real good shot or a real important shot and have no noise felt a little funny. But we had a great time anyway. We had a few couples over and a ton of good appetizers and a ton of good food and a lot of good conversation and many, many drinks. And it was funny because the tournament started at like 11. We started having people over, and everyone was leaving by like 5 or 6 at night, I guess. But after a long day of festivities, and it's suddenly 5 or 6 o'clock at night, you wonder, what do you do now? And what we did is throw on a movie and fall asleep right away on the couch. Speaking of sleep, I told you earlier it was an exhausting week for us last week. Work and just some mental issues and the kids all doing what the kids do. Anne-Marie and I went to bed at 7:51 last night. And we must be getting old because we're going to bed earlier and earlier, especially with the kids not around, or even if they are, we just say, hey, put yourself to bed when you're ready. And, been going to bed early, which is good. They say early to bed, early to rise. But I slept like a baby, and it was wonderful. And woke up after 7, so who knows how much sleep I got, but it was well-deserved and badly needed. Let's have another sip of coffee. Oh. A little cooler than I'd like it to be honest with you. So, anyway, I don't know what else I have for you. Again, it's Thanksgiving this week. Always a big holiday for me. One of my favorites, as I mentioned before, it's supposed to be somewhat tamed here in Illinois. They don't want people hanging out, co-hanging with people from other families that aren't in their immediate families, and that just seems kind of sad. I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook. Oh, I see Holly outside. She might be coming back. Wonder if she got any squirrels. But I see a lot of posts on Facebook about how staying alone on Thanksgiving will ensure a Merry Christmas or this or that. And I don't know if I believe any of that, honestly. Um, I think everyone should do what they think is necessary and do what they think is right. Um, I was talking to one of my best friends as a child. His mom, I won't say their names, but they used to live down the street from me on Virginia Avenue. Good morning, Mark. And she and her husband, I'll call them Mr. and Mrs. S, because I don't want to call them out by name. Their last name's Sheck. Uh, I was always kind of a second set of parents to me because we spent so much time together with her sons. But she said she's not seeing the kids this year. And I'm sure, like a lot of grandparents, she's, probably 80 or low 80s or something like that. And it's tough not spending Thanksgiving or the holidays with your family. And I mean, I think it's a fine decision, but it just kind of bumps me out and kind of puts a cloud over everything just a little bit. That people aren't going to be spending their Thanksgivings together. And that kind of makes me a little bit sad. But anyway, again, I am rambling. And I don't have a whole lot to say for you this week. But I do thank you for watching. Not only this week, but tuning in to my story every week and giving me all the love and support that you guys do. And because I go through bad times too, as we all do. And you never know what a text, a little message that says, hey, how are you doing? Just wanted to check in, can raise somebody's spirits. And I try and be as proactive about that and reach out to as many people as possible because I know it makes me feel good. And like I always say, if you have little kids in the house, give them a hug, give them a squeeze. Coach with that last name. What last name? Give them a hug and a squeeze because they deserve it. And I think raising them in a household of love is important. Have a great weekend. What, Trey McClure, you're asking, you a couple kids with what last name? I don't know. Good morning, Brian. And if you're fortunate enough to have your parents around, tell them you love them too. Because again, like I always say, I know what it means to me when I reach out, when my daughters even send me a text and say goodnight. So I try and talk with my dad most days. He's always traveling and doing fun things. Sometimes he's hard to track down. He's coming up on his 80th birthday, and he's always out walking the dogs or going to Herrick Lake or meeting a buddy for lunch. Or, Sheck. It was Schoeck, but yeah. Anyway, so will you guys have the kids over Thanksgiving? Scott, I don't think so. I think, I hate to say Anne Marie's kids, but it's hard else to describe, are going to be with their dad. And my kids, and I know they're our kids, but again, I think my kids are going to be hanging with their mom and her family. So it's probably just going to be Anne Marie and I, which will be very weird. And again, she wants to make a turkey. And I don't know, they better make turkeys very small. And I don't want anyone to talk to me about Cornish hens. I suggested a chicken. Anne Marie did not like that idea. But she's a really good cook, and she's going to make awesome, awesome food. I see the hearts coming on the side. Thank you so much. I want to commend Trey. I got a mortgage broker. Yeah, they did. Mortgage broker friend of mine that is trying to kick off his own life thing. He did his first, I don't know, what do you call it, whiskeys on Wednesday with Trey. And watched it the other day and got a kick out of it. And made me kind of feel good about what I'm doing, because there's some similarities to it. And I appreciate that. That makes me feel good. So thank you, Trey. What's my favorite side dish? Stuffing. And Anne-Marie promised to make it inside the bird with the little sausage chunks. It's the way my parents always made it. And my parents weren't great cooks, but they always put a great spread out for Thanksgiving. And when we were little, They put the stuffing and the sausage in the bird, and I think over the years that's kind of gone the way of the dinosaur, I guess, and people do it less and less, but boy, is it good when it's cooked inside the bird and with the sausage chunks in it, and I'm so excited. And she goes, what other side do I want? I go, gravy. I love gravy. So that's, I don't know if it's a side, but it's a kind of a condiment, if you will. So anyway, I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful week. And I hope you have a good weekend ahead. It's supposed to be kind of chilly. High of maybe 45 this weekend and some rain. We have no kids. We have some work appointments. I'm showing a home at 11. Again, we've been crazy, crazy busy. We put 4 homes, but we have a couple that are almost under contract. 4 homes under contract in the last couple of weeks. We have a couple that are close. Our listings are getting a lot of showings, which feels good. And we could talk about that later, Trey. Yes, I do. So we're really busy, especially this late in the year with real estate. And that feels good because I like keeping busy. But anyway, we're going to have a fairly quiet weekend here without any kids. Kind of excited about that. And not sure what the week ahead holds. I know we got a lot of work to do next week. But again, we got the big holiday on Thursday that I'm looking forward to. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you for cranberries. Scott Cooper, I do not like cranberries. I never have. Even when they're sweetened, they got that tartness. And I don't know. Never been one of my dishes that I'll even put near my plate. I know a lot of people like them. I don't mean to offend those that like cranberry. Just not my thing. I saw that. Tiger's son is golfing on December 17th. That should be interesting. I don't even know how old is he. Is he 10? Guarantee he could kick my butt even if he is 10. Thanks for doing this. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Debbie, Jody, Scott, and for everyone that comments and likes. Thank you for you being you. Thank you for the love and support you give me throughout the year and throughout my week and throughout my days, and you share it with my family. It means a ton to me. So whatever you're doing, fried okra. That just sounds like craziness. I don't even know what okra is. Again, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of my adventure. Thank you for sharing your cup of coffee with me on a Saturday morning. I'll take one more right now. And whatever you are, or wherever you are, and whatever you're doing this week, try and enjoy the little things. Like I said earlier, I got down this week a little bit and realized I had to mix things up a little bit. Focus on the positives. Focus on the love in your heart and your children or your parents or the sunshine or just the unconditional love a dog can give you or whatever, because it can snap you out of some bad times if you focus on the little things and the positive things. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, great weekend, and as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Have a great weekend.